the midweek sports review on EzeSportsTV. Leisure. We come here every Wednesday to talk sports and football generally. And of course, today I have my usual suspect, Kesta, to talk sports with me. Kesta, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll be going straight to the Nigerian Professional Football League. We had some run of games. Of course, the match day 27 over the weekend, and a lot of mouth-watering results. Wiki Tories winning Takada FC 2-0. Shooting Stars was 1-0 better than Niger Tornadoes. Rivers United, the table toppers, 5-0 over MFM FC. MFM, the bottom team at the moment. National United winning Plateau United. Lobby Stars 2-1 over Katsina United. And of course, Kano Pillars winning 2-1 against Para United. Gombe United played out a 1-0 win over Sunshine Stars. Aqua United played out a 1-0 draw with Enyuma International. And of course, Enugu Rangers beating Heartland of Owerri 3-1 right there in Enugu. Of course, Abia Warrior beating Remo Stars 2-0. Heartland, of course, Enugu Rangers doing that double over Heartland. Heartland took the lead before 10 minutes, but Rangers came back into the game just like the first leg here in Owerri, beating Heartland 3-0. Of course, Plateau United failing to get that point away from home, have actually extended the gap at the top of the table to 7 points. At some point, it was the same point with Rivers United, but now Rivers United have got 7 points at the top of the league, scoring 5 goals against MFM, plus 32 goals difference, and of course 58 points. Kesta, the MPFA table is taking shape. Of course, Remo Stars 2 points behind Enugu Rangers on third place. Heartland, with this particular loss right now, have actually taken them back into closer to the drop. They are now 19th on the log, just uh, 4 points above MFM, who are on the position 20.
Yeah, I mean, it's still the same story, old story about Heartland. They move up a bit, they go down again, and I just, you know, we're just watching to see if there's anything they can do to save themselves at the end of the season. But as it stands now, it's just a two-step forward, one other step back. But if you check the gap, it's not still much. As it stands, they still have every opportunity to survive. They're still up to more than 10 games to play. This is just week 27, so they still have up to 11 games, to go for the season. So uh, uh, um, um, a lot of things can still be achieved by this club. Heartland can still survive, but going to the top of the table, my prediction seems to be, working. I predicted Rivers United to go ahead and see this one, and the way it stands now, 7 point gap above Plateau United, making it look like they're going to be taking this one home at the end of the season. So it's a very interesting thing, as I've always maintained. We like what we're seeing, very competitively. It started very well, and then the competition goes on. I mean, 7 points on top. It's not still done and dusted for them. As I mentioned, we still have up to more than 10 games to play. And once you are in that position where I think, yeah, once you are in a position where you have, that number of games to go, it means that anything can still change. Anything can still happen as it stands. So we can always look at the English Premier League, and at a point you have Manchester City topping Liverpool by so many points. They came back with the game and with the outstanding games and all that. I've covered the point now. Just to they're actually on the same point in Manchester City, though that they've played one game more. But you can see that the gap have been closed down, and as it stands, it's going to continue till the last day of the season for us to know who's going to take the league at the end of the day. So that's what my total play out in the MPFL. It's a good season we are having. The officiating have become better compared to previous seasons where the home teams are always kind of assured 3 points and all that. But we're seeing teams traveling away. Talked about Rangers making that double against Heartland Football Club. At Owerri here, I ended 3-1 in favor of Rangers, and the same scoreline is what they have. You know, they are 3-0 actually right here in Owerri, and then they won at home again against the same Heartland by 3 goals to 1. Heartland taking the lead in that one, and then Rangers coming from behind, to win their game. So we are enjoying the Nigeria Professional League. We just hope that going forward, the league keeps improving and improving. Of course, we want to have a very nice league where we can see good players, relaxing here, playing their football here, and of course enjoying the football as well, and also having the chance, to play in the national team side. So it's a very good season so far, so good, and we hope it continues that way to the end of the last week of the season.
Okay, Kesta, still staying in the home front, talking about the national team. Of course, Jonathan to the Nigerian, the NFF to for court of arbitration, demanding a payoff of $1 million. Of course, the court has actually come out to say that, the NFF don't need to pay him more than just his remaining 17 months salary, which is about $350,000 dollars, and of course, as well as the fine that were meted on Nigeria because of the incident at the national stadium after the game between Nigeria and Ghana for the World Cup qualifiers. Of course, at the NFF, the money accumulating right now over 300 and something million naira. NFF are crying that they don't have money, but the rule from FIFA is that in 44 days, if they're unable to pay Jonah Shaw his salary, and of course pay off that fine, another sort of sanctions will be made on them. Do you think the people at the glass house are actually taking Nigerian football for granted, or do you think they are working to see if they can actually salvage it? Because it is looking like it's becoming a joke. I mean, they should know that when you sack a coach, when of course, when as far as football and contract is concerned, when you sack somebody, you're supposed to pay off the remainder of that person's contract. But they sacked him, relaxing, not wanting to pay that money. Do you think NFF are being naive, or they were doing what they did intentionally, thinking Donald Trump would let that money go?
No, they know what they are doing. I don't think they are being naive or thinking that Donald Trump will let the money go. They know. I mean, there's always politics in some of these things. They know exactly what they are doing. They might not want to rush, to pay that money, and we wouldn't have known the disagreements between the Donald Trump's camp and the NFF, because considering that he went to court and made a request of 1 million, shows that something is also, it's not also, well, I mean, he's not being sincere from his own angle. So he should have known the exact amount he's being owed, and again, of course, go for that. But he's, going for much more than he should be expecting from the NFF. And I think that some disagreements might have been happening behind the scene that we don't know, in terms of the amount that should be paid to him and all that. And then I'm sure the NFF knows the rules of terminating someone's contract, and I'm sure they are prepared, to pay those money, um, since they sacked him. So the delay is not something new. We've always seen this kind of thing in football, even in foreign lands, in Europe and all that. We've seen, coaches taking clubs to court and all that, disagreeing on how much to be paid and all that. We've always seen those things happen. So it's not really about being naive, but I would say some kind of politics are being played in it. But I'm sure at the end of the day, they're going to do the right thing. I mean, you can't allow more sanctions on yourself when you're already crying that you don't have the money to pay the one you have incurred for yourself. So I'm hoping that the NFF we move fast, as settling the coach first, and of course look on how to pay the fines that be meted upon them. It's just unfortunate that it happened that way, but this is not the first time Nigeria NFF is sacking a coach. I'm sure in the previous occasions where they have got coaches sacked, they pay off their salaries. There's always a kind of a level of compromise and agreement that is being reached by both parties in some cases where some amounts were reduced and all that. But the one thing that is constant and everybody knows about it, I have to pay of the coach when you sack them. So they know they have been in this situation before. It's not new to them. They know what to do. I'm sure they will try to do that to avoid much problem on their side.
All right, let's start talking about the English Premier League. Over the weekend, we had a lot of games. Of course, Brentford winning Southampton 3-0. It ended. Of course, Burnley losing 1-3 at home to Aston Villa. Chelsea playing at a 2-2 draw with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Crystal Palace 1-0 victors over relegated Watford. Brighton and Hove Albion, I mean, what seems to be the game of the day. I mean, winning Manchester United 4-0, it ended. And of course, Liverpool versus Tottenham, it ended 1-1. I predicted that game to end 3-1 in favor of Liverpool. Of course, on Sunday, we had Arsenal winning 2-1 against Leeds United. Leicester City losing at home to Everton. 2-1 it ended. Norwich City already relegated, losing at home 4-0 against West Ham United. And of course, Manchester City producing that wonderful performance against Newcastle United. I mean, Man City beating Newcastle 5-0. Kesta, Liverpool dropping points, um, failing to actually get all 3 points. In fact, Liverpool had to come from behind, to get that equalizer against Tottenham. Though last night, of course, Liverpool played a game and they won 2-1 against Aston Villa, back on point, back on same point with Manchester City, but City will be playing tonight. Um, considering how the result have gone over the weekend, Chelsea dropping that point. Chelsea were two goal up. Romelu Lukaku getting that start and of course getting the 2 goals. Chelsea giving that away have actually reduced the gap between them and Arsenal to just 1 point. And of course, Arsenal getting that win over Leeds United have actually taken the gap between them and Tottenham Hotspur to 4 points. And of course, Manchester United are out of the top four as far as we're concerned. And West Ham getting that 4-0 victory over Norwich City. If they if West Ham are able to beat Manchester City over the weekend, they will go above Manchester United on goal difference, which means Manchester United won't even be eligible to play in the Europa League come next season. They will be there to play the Conference League. Of course, at the top of the league, Manchester City are top with 3 points. Although Liverpool have played one game more, back to the same point, but they have a game at hand tonight against Wolverhampton Wanderers. I mean, how is it turning out right there?
The way we've always predicted that to turn out, you know, fight till the end, the last day of the season. We are enjoying it. It's a beautiful league, the best league in the world, the Premier League. I mean, Manchester City, Liverpool, the fight was only going to be between the two sides, best two sides as far in Europe, as far as I'm concerned, best two sides in Europe right now. You can argue about Real Madrid, but I think Manchester City and Liverpool, the way they have played football, have shown that they are the best team around. And it's unfortunate that we are not going to be seeing both of them playing the Champions League final, but full credit to Real Madrid. They deserve to be in the final with the way they executed the season and played themselves into the UEFA Champions League final. But Manchester City have been a joy to watch. Look at the game they had against Newcastle. A very wonderful game, scored a lot of goals. They know that as it is now, goals matter at the end of the day counts as well. If Manchester City drops a point or let's say loses any match now, it will now go down to who scored more goals than each other. So they did very well in that game. Outplayed Newcastle in all front and scored 5 wonderful goals for themselves. Of course, Newcastle, I mean Liverpool dropped 2 points against Tottenham. I knew it was going to be a difficult game for them because Tottenham equally was fighting for something, and we said it over the weekend when we were analyzing that game. It's a game that has so many things at stake. I mean, Tottenham was going to play that game knowing that they need to cover the gap between them and Arsenal because they are hoping to finish in the top four. Of course, Liverpool knows that a win for them. We always put them, have them, stay just 1 point behind Manchester City. But credit to both teams. It's always better to get something than nothing. And at the end of the day, they shared the points, which was fair as far as I'm concerned. Tottenham on the day was good to their game plan, did very well, defended very well, created chances for themselves, could have won even. But Liverpool, being who they are, also played very well and deserved to, get something out of the game. So it was a very beautiful game of football between Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur with so many things to fight for. So it's interesting. I mean, Arsenal also winning their game. It was a difficult game, a difficult second half for them, even though Leeds went down, with one man down and all that. But Arsenal stood at the firm, defended very well from the Leeds United, pressure and all that, and the 2-1 win for them was a very massive win, 4 points above Tottenham now, which means that the North London derby now means a lot for both sides. Arsenal can actually secure top four with that match if they win. So it's in their hand now, fully in their hand to qualify for Champions League with a win against Tottenham after that for point gap now. And Chelsea coming back, drawing their game after taking the lead with 2 goals. It's just one of the wonders of football. I mean, you would think that Chelsea is running away with victory against a team, a Wolves side that have not really played very well recently. But they surrendered the 2 goals lead and draw and open the table furthermore. That there's opportunity now for Arsenal to even go ahead of above Chelsea in that third place position. So very interesting, and it continues like this till the last weekend of the season because I don't see anything changing for now. I mean, we have games today, but I'm sure that at the end of the day, you still have the league very open for so many things to change.
Right. Talking about Chelsea, Jose Mourinho has come out to defend Chelsea and say that he understands what is going on with Thomas Tuchel. That he doesn't think anybody should blame him. That the uncertainty within the team have actually unsettled everything that Chelsea are doing this season. That he's even giving them credit for being where they are at the moment. Considering how all that has happened between the Chelsea camp. Of course, that uncertainty made Antonio Rudiger to choose to go to Real Madrid, and of course, Christensen opting to sign with Barcelona. Do you agree with Jose Mourinho, or do you think Chelsea weren't just good enough?
No, I agree with him on some reasons, and also disagree with him on some point he made. I agree with him that what is happening in Chelsea have affected what is happening on the pitch for as far as the team is concerned. Uncertainty can always make the team, disorganize the team, sort of. So yeah, he has played a part on what is happening in Chelsea. Chelsea is a very good side, played very well, have a very nice coach in Thomas Tuchel. But with those things that happen, of course, it's always going to affect the player's side in one way or the other. Some of them might be thinking, what's going to happen next? Does it mean we're not going to be having a Chelsea playing in the Premier League next season and all that? Some players are thinking of what's going to be my best move and all that. So surely it has played some part in the form. But you look at that and still look at where Chelsea is, and you can say that they have done so well. You can still give them credit for withstanding all those pressure and also being in the conversation. They are going to finish in top for sure, and that they have a chance of winning a trophy also against Liverpool in the FA Cup final. So, but I disagree with him when he says people like Rudiger and Christensen are leaving for the same reason. I don't think that's the case because I mean the negotiation for new contracts have been there for a very long time, even before the issue of sanctioning Abramovich and all that. So I don't think he played any part. I mean, Rudiger was looking at the option of going to another club even before the sanctioning and all that. So I don't think he has played some other reasons might be the factor for him leaving, but not really because Chelsea, is going to. It was in this condition. And remember that recently agreements have been reached for the new takeover of Chelsea. The consortium of the American have been the bid have been accepted, and very soon they're going to be finalizing the whole deal to sell Chelsea. So as a matter of fact, you can see that very soon all those things will be resolved. So it couldn't have been because of the situation that they are living. And but I can agree with him that all those things have affected how Chelsea have performed recently.
Okay, Kesta, tonight we'll be having games in the English Premier League, and of course, Chelsea will be away to Leeds United, Leicester City at home to Norwich City, Watford will be hosting Everton. I mean, this game is a game everybody's looking forward to, and of course, Wolverhampton Wanderers will be at home to host Manchester City. City needing a win tonight. I mean, to go all 3 points above Liverpool. Everton hoping to get a win to, continue their push of surviving in the Premier League. Watford already relegated, and of course, Leeds United trying to fight it to see if they can survive. I think it's going to be a tough game for Chelsea tonight. But Kesta, let's talk about the game tomorrow between Tottenham Hotspur versus Arsenal. It is the North London derby right there at the London Stadium, Tottenham Stadium rather. This game is equally as important as the game we had over the weekend between Liverpool versus Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, Arsenal needing a win in that particular fixture to cement their place in the top four. And of course, Tottenham needing a win to reduce the deficit and hope to see what will happen in the remaining two games of the season. It is going to be a tough one. Not only that these two teams are fighting for something, it's also a derby. And of course, in recent time, Arsenal hasn't really done so well at the London Stadium. But I mean, this is a derby; it doesn't count most of the time. How do you see this game going?
Always going to be a difficult game for Arsenal at the Tottenham Stadium. Knowing that there is something extra apart from being a derby game, there is another something extra to fight for. Tottenham have done so well the way they played themselves back into the fight for top four. Before now, during the New Year and all that, a lot of things were going wrong for them. Antonio Conte couldn't stabilize the team and have them play the way he wanted. But He made some few signings that January transfer window. Kulusevski came in, Bentancur. Both the players have come to change the way Tottenham play, and it seems you watch them now, you are seeing a kind of Antonio Conte team playing, and they have done so well. In the run of trying to make sure they stay in contention, they face some tough teams and all that. Same as Arsenal as well, but they have done themselves good. I mean, Tottenham, drawing that game against Liverpool with that 1 point is so precious. I mean, 1 point, everything counts now as it stands. If they win tomorrow, it will be 1 point behind Arsenal. Now you can always argue that the next two fixtures for Arsenal and that for Tottenham, you can say that Arsenal have more tougher fixtures than Tottenham, who just have Norwich City and Burnley to play. But Tottenham, Arsenal have Everton to play. Of course, there's also Newcastle that have done so well. So it's going to be an interesting game between Tottenham and Arsenal at non-London derby. Of course, anything that happens in that game will determine a lot going forward on who finish in the top four.
Well, talking about Arsenal having a tougher opponent in the remaining two games, beside the game against Tottenham, of course, we've seen Arsenal having very tough fixtures in recent time, and Arsenal, after losing those three games in a row, have come out to win Chelsea, Manchester United, and West Ham. These are tougher games than, of course, the last two games they have of the season. Do you think, with the form that Arsenal currently are, do you think, I mean, these other games will actually, mean anything, or do you think if they continue with that form, I mean, there wouldn't even be need for those two games? I mean, they will go to Spurs, hoping to get all 3 points.
And that's why I said if Tottenham wins the game tomorrow, we'll now start looking at the next opponent for Arsenal and Tottenham. And I said earlier that Arsenal have the chance of ending it tomorrow. If they win, it's over for Tottenham. But I mean, we are going to be seeing that game tomorrow to see how it goes. And we already agreed that the Tottenham Stadium is a very tough place for Arsenal in recent seasons to play in. And but anything can happen. I mean, this is Arsenal that have won Manchester United, as you said. They won Chelsea. They won games you don't expect them to win. They seem to struggle when you even expect them to do better. But these are Mikel Arteta have done so wonderfully well with this Arsenal squad. So you can never argue that on what they can achieve. They have it in their hand now, and I see Arsenal actually finishing in the top four from how the look of things and how I perceive it. But it's going to be difficult because this is Tottenham having a good form, a very good coach, a nice squad, and all that. So it's going to be an interesting game. Not London derby, Tottenham Arsenal will decide a lot of things going forward.
All right, quick one before we call it today, Kesta. I will need you to be giving me your prediction on that particular fixture, as well as the game between Chelsea tonight, and of course Manchester City as well. But first of all, I need you to give me your prediction on the North London derby tomorrow between Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal FC.
It's going to be a difficult one. Tottenham knows how important this game is going to be for them. But I think Arsenal will be equal to the tax, and a draw for me, 2-2 draw at the Tottenham Tottenham Stadium is my prediction, 2-2 draw. And then, I mean, today Chelsea will be playing. They know that the third place is slipping up from them, just 1 point above Arsenal. If Arsenal wins today and Chelsea fails to win, Arsenal will move ahead of Chelsea. I mean, if Arsenal wins tomorrow game, so Chelsea we know that, and they will be coming filing out against a Leeds United side that is struggling, fighting for a survival. Also, it's going to be difficult for Chelsea as well. But I see them winning that game by 2 goals to nothing. I mean, they have everything it takes to beat Leeds United as it stands now. And then another interesting game there is Everton facing Watford. I mean, Everton, Frank Lampard have indeed surprised a lot of people with the way he had played against some certain teams you don't expect them to get some good results from. And that away win against Leicester have pushed them out of the relegation waters, just above Burnley and Leeds United by 1 point. Then with this game at hand now, they're facing Watford. If they win today, they will go 4 points above Burnley and Leeds United, and that will be massive for them in their fight to survive in the Premier League. So it's going to be an interesting game, Everton against Wolves, and I see Everton winning that one by 2 goals to 1. Of course, Manchester City facing Wolves. City knows what to do to win this league. Just win and win and win. They will win against Wolves tonight. It's going to be by 3 goals to 1.
All right, you've heard Kesta's predictions. We'll be looking forward to see what will come of it if Kesta is on point with his predictions. Or, of course, we will be here next week Wednesday to discuss football again and talk about all this. Kesta, thank you so much for coming around today. It's always nice to talk sports with you.
Thank you very much for always having me.
All right, and of course, our Ralph, thank you so much for being behind the cameras. Always making sure that the all the fans are out there to watch us every day talk sports. Thank you so much for doing the good job, and of course, to you out there, continue to stay with us on the midweek sports review on EzeSports TV. I still remain your host Harrison. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.